Hey, this gangster shootout here is Tom Clancy's Elite Squad. And it might probably be better to stay away from this mobile game. Let's talk about why I think so, but first here is some backstory. I've noticed that Elite Squad trends in new and has raked some installs on the Play Store. Around 1 million actually. Then I've checked the game's page, and here is what it promises. Lead real-time 5 vs 5 battles. Command your Elite Squad in dynamic 5 vs 5 action. Trigger strategic orders. Challenge other teams in the PvP arena. Train, equip and upgrade your military team with hundreds of different weapons. I saw that and I thought to myself, damn, dynamic real-time 5 vs 5 action with RPG elements. That must be some good shit, huh? So I've rushed to download Elite Squad in hopes that Ubisoft has finally released a decent mobile game. Well, this might and magic wand is still fresh. Elite Squad was downloaded and I've actually got myself some good shit. The game has surprised me to a degree where I want to share my thoughts and experience. Actually, before we start, I have to say that I knew almost nothing about Tom Clancy's franchise before that, and that I want to stand aside from the most recent political controversies about the game. Fuck that, that's also a great thing, since I'll be less biased about the game itself. So, I start the game, and what do I get in the first place? Of course, I'll get a hand-holding tutorial with a lot of text, where the designers will introduce me to some free-to-play basics, unlocking characters with shards. Yeah, and that's even before showing me the core gameplay. That's not really bad, but I believe that is not what Tom Clancy's fan would like to see in the first place. But maybe those dynamic real-time fights are worth it. Let's learn that the hard way and fight some Power Rangers. Let's roll. And we get what we deserve. The battle is in real time, but I actually can't control it. My squad just runs towards the enemy and shoots in their direction. They are using abilities and stuff, but I can't control it. Oh wait, the designers have left me 2 yellow abilities here to play with, so I don't die because of field deprivation. Those 2 buttons are the only strategic orders to trigger in this game. And that's a shame, because the characters have a ton of different and complex abilities which they could use on command, but they just won't, because it's not how this game is played. Also, the way the battle looks visually is damn hilarious. 2 squads are standing in lines very close to each other and chaotically shoot a lot of low damage projectiles at each other, which results in a look of a cartoon shootout. Or maybe those guys are just using some paintball rounds, who knows. So, here is my main problem with this game, and I believe that many people will agree with that. Elite Squad is based on a shooter franchise, and it promises real-time 5 vs 5 battles, which I presumably can control as a player. But what we get is an autoplay game, which offers some illusion of control because it allows a player to pick some fighters and use some well-balanced abilities. And I believe that both of those things are pretty well balanced, but in a bad way, where your choice doesn't really matter, but that is just my assumption at the moment. To be honest, I probably would enjoy playing Elite Squad more if there were some more options to make a bigger impact on a fight. But there are no such options. Hell, Raid Shadow Legends looks better than this game in terms of gameplay. In Raid, I at least can control my characters and feel that I have more impact on the situation. Well, in Elite Squad's defense, I can say the next thing. There are some strategy and tactics in this game, and it looks like the most interesting and skill-demanding part of the game should be about learning how your soldiers work and making perfect synergizing combinations of them. But this part of the game doesn't work, at least for a new player. Because what a new player gets: one basic set of soldiers to which they should stick if they want to save in-game currency, It is also hard to understand how all those abilities work in the fight, because you have no control over them as a player, so all fights are looking like a complete mess, where a player has to track all the characters' abilities and how they actually impact the battle. Well, let's take a break. Here is an auto-win button to brighten you up, to cheer you a bit. This button is funny. Usually, people bother to call it, let's say, an auto-clear button. But Ubisoft doesn't seem to care that much. Wins are so much better than clears, right? What a nice button we have here. Thank you, button. So, to sum everything up, there is basically nothing to play with, and the game doesn't really look like Tom Clancy's game. To experience more complex team building and ability choosing, which looks like the most and the only fun thing in the game, a player has to progress a lot, I believe. My assumption is based on the fact that Elite Squad is a free-to-play game and it has to monetize in some way. And it is also based on my experience in similar games, where you have to prioritize one single deck of characters, especially if you are trying to play for free. And as we can see here, the developers have considered this common problem when players ditch all other characters, because here are some missions which can only be accessed with some specific characters. They want you to level up all the soldiers. All that stuff is really sad, because again, Elite Squad could be more fun if there were more ways to make an impact in battles. What is even sadder is that Tom Clancy's Elite Squad looks damn polished, and I have to admit it is a great product. The graphics are beautiful, the interfaces are crisp, clear and simple to understand, and the game design itself looks pretty solid. I can feel that there were some efforts put into this game, and it is core design decisions that ruin the game for me. Can't really recommend Tom Clancy's Elite Squad to everyone, and that is really sad, because I wanted those real-time 5 vs 5 battles where I can control stuff. But if you want a side game on your mobile device, where you can have a collection of characters from your favorite franchise and you are okay with some grind, then you might give the game a try. And this is little something to help you imagine what Ubisoft thinks here. This purchase option is $50 and those 3 are $20 each, and all of them are limited to 3 servings per week, which sums up to $330. That is a suitable amount per week, I guess. Actually, this limit probably has some other reasons than a suitable amount of money per week, but that idea, I find it funny. Here is a note. All I have said before is my personal opinion, which is based on a few hours I've put into the game. Elite Squad probably might become a good game later as the game progresses, and I just feel like there are not enough player input options and variety right now. Also, I don't have anything against the genre, I just can't get the dynamic real-time 5 vs 5 feel that the store page did promise. Well, thank you for staying with me for that long. If you have a weird idea of supporting me at what I do, then you can share this video where you think it will find some audience. That will help a lot. Also, I would like to know what was your experience with the game. Was it similar to mine? Did you enjoy the game? Please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. And here is the character who summons adds drones. That isn't really a meaningful thing, but I wanted to share. There are no ads in the game actually. That would be too awesome. Goodbye.